To you, Virgos. So you have the Queen of Pentacles, the Chariot, and the Eight of Wands. So for you, Virgos, right off the rip, there's definitely a sense of just relaxation, the quality of your life being better. The Chariot represents and knowing that you came a long way from where it is that a lot of you Virgos used to be compared to where you are now. Understanding that this level of peace that you have in your life didn't necessarily come easy to a lot of you Virgos, and a lot of you had to essentially fight for it. You had to basically get this peace out of the mud that you wanted to have, because you know how it is, Virgo. It seems like so much of our time, so much of our names is constantly up in the mud. People constantly making terrible, cognitive dissonant decisions about us and scapegoating us and always thinking the worst of us and all this other type of stuff. So yeah, we had to get it out of the mud. And the Eight of Wands represents not allowing anybody to get you on your nerves or stress you out. If anybody is, every time you come around, they're stressing you out, I'm seeing that a lot of you Virgos will stop talking to them. You'll excommunicate them from your life, because they shouldn't be constantly coming around. Like, everybody needs to have different faces, if you hang around somebody enough, obviously you're going to see them when they're mad. Not everybody's going to be happy all the time. That's a delusion. So you hang around somebody enough, you're going to see different sides of them. They're going to be sad, they're going to be upset, they're going to be disappointed, they're going to be angry, they're going to be happy. But if a person is constantly coming around being on some BS, a lot of you Virgos are going to look at them like there's something always wrong with them, even at times where there shouldn't be. So I just see a lot of you Virgos cutting them off, because if every time you hang around them, they always got some stuff going on, I see a lot of you Virgos I just see a lot of you Virgos not seeing the value in keeping them around, because every time they come around and you come around, they always got some stuff going on. The Page of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups is about, while you Virgos, on the other hand, that's not how a lot of you are. A lot of you Virgos are very much so at peace. Very much so at peace. Single, ready to mingle. The Four of Pentacles represents, and again, there's an emphasis on taking care of yourselves and making sure that, if you're trying to get to know people and they disappoint you, a lot of you Virgos will essentially make yourselves happy. The Nine of Pentacles and the Page of Cups is about a brand new outlook, right? A lot of people are not going to like you Virgos' new outlook that a lot of you have. They're not going to like it because, again, Virgo is the zodiac sign of being a servant, but people take the whole, because a lot of people are dumb, so people take the whole servant thing, right? They take the whole servant thing, and what it is that they do is they essentially always take that, and they always want to make it seem like that just because you're the zodiac sign of the servant, they take it too far. So what they'll do is they'll make it to the extreme. They'll blow it up to mythic proportions. So what they'll do is that they'll exaggerate. And when people, Virgo is the zodiac sign of servitude, in the sense that, number one, they're not always serving you all the time. Number two, when they say serving, you got to understand that there's different levels of servitude. If you talking about flat out perpetual servitude, that's completely different than when somebody just has your back and they're considerate to you and they know how to do things, and they're considerate to you and they know how to put things in play, but they're not necessarily your servant. But again, this is where things end up getting dark, because being a servant now, when you leave it up to people's interpretation of it, you start to see where a lot of people end up taking it, and they always doing too much. They always doing too much. The way that they interpret is, and this is the stupidity of it. This is what this stupid mentality is, what brings a lot of people down with it. The idea of you give stupid people an inch and they trying to take a mile, because they don't know how to, they're not disciplined enough to say when enough is enough, nor do they have the decency to say and when enough is enough. So what they'll do is they'll make the servitude thing, and they'll like I said, they'll blow it up, they'll expand it, they'll exaggerate it, they'll make it into hyperbole, where it's like, I thought you were a servant. And it's like you taking this servant stuff too far, Goofy. When it says servant, it depends on how you interpret it. And I'm surprised at the fact that you interpreted it that way, in the sense that I'm supposed to, for always, like, sacrifice myself and put myself up there on the chopping block for you. So if that's where your mind is, because that's how you interpreted it, I'm not rocking with you. And that's where a lot of people get upset at, because again, you telling off on yourself when you interpret it that way, because only a person who shouldn't be trusted would want a servant in that perspective anywhere, where they're like, yeah, like that's where their mentality goes of, yeah, whenever, this person is going to perpetually do whatever I tell them. It's like, why do you want that? That's a better question. Why does your mind go to that area anyway? And it reveals the dark psychology that a lot of people tend to have. And it brings a lot of others down, because this is the mentality that now a lot of people have. Right? They call themselves all the time kings and queens, but then look at the way that they treat their kingdom, their queendom. They treat everybody with a heavy hand. They disrespect their king or their queendom. So it's like this is what it is that you're looking for. You're looking for, in that perspective, you're looking for someone that can serve you and do whatever it is that you want, while you treat them like garbage, which shows this is who you are. So the Wheel of Fortune now and the Empress is about how, again, I see a lot of you Virgos just kind of cooling off from being in relationships for a little bit, and just kind of feeling what it's like to actually be single and embrace the singlehood. Because it's ironic. Virgos' weakest area in their life is love and relationships. But, when you get in it, a lot of the times, a lot of you Virgos don't really want to be in it, because you find out that, modern day, quote unquote, modern day dating and modern day, quote unquote, love, quote unquote, is not necessarily what it is it's cracked up to be. A lot of times it's about people trying to weasel other people out of something and shortchange people, and trying to make it seem like that's what fair is. And it's like, listen, gotta get over the idea that somebody owes you something. Grown people with this mentality, like it's. So let's clarify some of these cards. Let's clarify the Empress. Two of Cups, Ten of Wands, Magician, and then you have the Wheel of Fortune. So to clarify the Empress. So again, just having a brand new look on relationships, choosing to be single, kind of walking away, Ten of Wands, walking away from wanting to be in a relationship for a little while. Magician and the Wheel of Fortune. People are going to want to know why. But you Virgos already know why, because it doesn't work out. It doesn't work out for a lot of y'all, because again, people take the whole servant thing, take it way too far. They start thinking that you're some sort of, something that begins with an S, ends with an E. They think that you're a perpetual servant, and it's like the fact that you interpreted it that way is the problem. That's what it is that you're looking for, and Who are you looking for? Who do you want to be your indentured servant? Somebody who's trying to show you love. So this is what it is that you do to your own, is what you're showing. So not only do you want this, but this is what you would do to your own. Like, anyway, the stupidity of others, right? But anyway, that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video.